and welcome to Life with Chelsea. Thank you so much, my sisters, for joining me here today. It's July 3rd, our first time gathering, and hopefully not your last time. Today we're going to be talking about the worth in the wait. So let me tell you a personal story. A few years ago, I had come to this place in life where I was ready to get married. I'd done well in my career, attended law school, and I just had this desire to be married and for companionship. Well, I also at that time was dating someone. The guy was a good guy, but you know what? He was not the best guy for me. And our relationship and signs in the relationship should have told me, stop. But you know what? Like some of you, I tried to force it, right? For you, it may not be a relationship. It may be a job. It may be a car, a house, a baby, the next degree, starting a business, starting a ministry. And you're just at this place where you want it now, you're forcing it, and you don't want to face fear or rejection. Listen, I get it. I was there, and I made the big mistake of trying to force it. One time when I was dating this gentleman, he said, sometimes it feels like we're a square peg going in a circle hole. And instead of listening to what he was saying, you know what I did? I explained it away. I kept dating him. You fast forward a few years, and guess what? Our relationship ended. I was heartbroken. I was frustrated. I was disappointed. I was embarrassed. But it falls back on to me, right? Because God was showing me signs. He was opening my eyes, but I didn't want to wait on God. I didn't trust God enough that he was going to bring somebody my way. And guess what? A few months later, I was reconnected with my now husband. He and I had met 7 years prior, right? But God knew neither one of us was ready at that time. We reconnected, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is what you wanted me to wait for. And I had been so impatient. I had put myself in a place to be hurt and disappointed. And God knew that he was going to bring this handsome man from Richmond, Virginia down to Florida to bring me to Richmond so that I could continue to live out my purpose. So here we are, my husband and I. It's over a year of marriage, and it's been phenomenal, right? I moved my life, but it was a tough thing, but it was one of the best things that I could have done, right? Because we are living out our purpose together. We're doing ministry together. We're doing life together. And I truly believe that I'm walking in the destiny that God had for me. So I share that story with you to listen, don't force it. Whatever you're hustling and grinding for, take some time this week and ask the Lord, is this where you want me? Is this what you've told me to do, right? Because you can hustle and grind all that you want, but you want to be in God's perfect will for your life. You want to be in God's perfect will for your life, right? Not what everybody else is doing on Instagram, not what your life plan says or where you should be. You want to be where God has for you. So I want to remind you, secondly, that there is worth in the wait. Thirdly, I want to remind you, my sister, you are worth the wait. Listen, whatever it is that God has for you, whatever it is that you're desiring, right? If you're like me, you probably have quoted Psalms 37:4, which says, delight thyself in the Lord, and he should give you the desires of thine heart. Listen, God is faithful. He tells us in Hebrews 10:23, he who is promised is faithful. My sister, God is faithful. He's faithful to your heart. He's faithful to the end. So will you trust him? Will you wait for the worth? Will you believe that there is worth in the wait? And so I challenge you, I encourage you, and I say, don't be like me and make the mistake. Waste years of your life, right? Don't be like me and cause extra heartache and pain. But trust in the plan that God has for your life. And if he can bring a man from Richmond, Virginia down to Jacksonville, Florida to get me, whatever it is that you're believing God for, God will make it happen, even if he has to go to the jungles of Africa, because he is faithful. Join me back here next week as we continue our journey. Have a blessed week.